3 rows. Let's let this go. Hey. Right. Well, I thought as things are growing quite well, one or two things not so well, but I thought I'd give you a plot tour is what I'm mumbling on about. So I'm going to start way over there behind where my camera is now, and I'll work my way up, and I'll give you a little bit of a insight into what's going on and how things are growing. So let's tootle over the other end of the plot. Okay, so this end here, this tunnel is my main crop of onions. This end I've got Fen Red. They are a member of the Fen Globe family. They're heat treated onion sets. I've grown them for about 3 years now, and they do produce a nice red onion, full stop. Then in the rest of here I've then got Kelsey and Elsa Craig, all grown from seed, looking really nice. I'm very pleased with them. They still look good, strong, sturdy plants, so hopefully they'll keep going for a while yet before we need to harvest them and get them out. They're looking really well. Then moving along, here is my last sowing of peas. I've got some more here which are starting to produce pods. These are Hearst Green Shaft. I used to grow Kelvedon Wonder, and with Kelvedon Wonder you get 1 pod per node. You get 8 to 10 peas on average in a pod, and I'm reading through, not last year, I think it was the year before, reading through a seed catalogue, and came across Hearst Green Shaft, and they produce 2 pods per node, again with 8 to 10 peas in. So technically, just through changing the variety of pea, I've doubled my crop. That's, you know, just think about it, that would make sense. So these are doing nicely. I reckon another 4 or 5 weeks. There's 1 or 2 flowers still on, but another 4 or 5 weeks they'll be ready to harvest. I have got some more over there that are ready to harvest now. This is my final sowing. I've then got a 3rd sowing, so in all I've got 4 sowings to try to give me a prolonged harvest of peas, and it's all looking good. So I'll just move the camera over and show you with regards to potatoes out in front. The 2 rows nearest to the camera, they are Sarpo Una. They're new to me this year, I've never grown them before. They can be lifted, reading the blurb about them, they can be lifted as an early, so once they've flowered and finished they can be got up and add as an early potato, or they can be left in and lifted when you'd lift main potatoes, main crop potatoes, so that you then get a bigger, possibly baked potato size type potatoes. The next 3 rows, let's let this go. Hey. Right, where was I? The next 3 rows, which are these 3 here, they are Sarpomera. Again, same member of the Sarpo family as the Sarpouna, all blight resistant. These are a main crop, and I leave these in and get them up once the tops have really gone and so on, and they will produce some really big potatoes, get some really good baked potatoes out of the Sarpomera. And as I say, they're all blight resistant. That was the reason this year for me going with these, because last year I got hit hard with regards blight, and I made a mental note, right, let's go totally blight resistant. And having said that, you'll see, as you'll see in a bit, I am growing some potatoes that aren't blight resistant, but that's another story. So I'll turn you around and show you a little bit of something with regards my rhubarb. A little bit off-putting, but what my plan, I'll give you, let you know what's going on with regards my plans for the rhubarb. Okay, the rhubarb, I've got 5 crowns along here. Generally harvest really well, apart from this 1 crown here, which didn't do very well last year, and this year probably best to describe it as horrendous. I'll bring you closer and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. I'll give you some idea as to what I think may be the reasoning behind it, and let you know what I'm going to do with regards these 2 crowns that are here. So I'll bring you a bit closer and show you what's what. Okay, so the rhubarb. Now, as you can see, that crown is horrendous. It's well and truly had it. This one doing really well. What I'm thinking of doing come the winter is to take both of these out, split that and put 2 in here, get that up, get it out and get rid of it, because it's really poor. But this is what I think is the problem. All this bindweed. Yes, there's some mare's tail in here, which I can live with, but as you can see, there's quite a bit of bindweed in here. Now, whether that has anything to do with this rhubarb not doing very well, I don't know. And the only way I can really get rid of this properly is to dig it out. Funnily enough, as I've come round here today, it's been told he's got bindweed in the middle of the trees, and he said the same about needs to dig it out, but it's really hard for him. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that out, split that. While I've got it out, I'm going to get and dig all this over to get the bindweed. This is the only area that I've got it, and I generally control it by doing this. I've just seen some more along here, and this is the one way that I go about trying to control it, is just pulling it out. But yeah, that's the plans for that. So, but apart from that, the rhubarb is brilliant. We have more than I need, to be perfectly honest. There's a lot more here than I need, and I could, I suppose, do away with these and we'd manage fine off these. So we'll see. That might be another option, but it's not what I'm planning on doing, put it that way. So I'll show you the rest of what's going on over here. Right, these 3 beds here, we'll start over here. This has got my leeks in, Musselburgh. There's Musselburgh and I think it's Winter White. I think, I'm not sure. I've got my labels that I've used. To put it bluntly, a lot of the writing has vanished off them, but I'm using some cut up milk bottles now and writing with a permanent marker, and they seem to be lasting a lot longer. But there is Musselburgh in there, and I think the other is Giant Winter White, I think it is, and they're doing nicely. They're coming along, just need a little bit of weeding again. The bed here, again, peas, starting to get the flowers on. Again, Hearst green shaft, doing nice. I'm very pleased with those. Then I've got beetroot, and I've got Bolt Hardy and Solandra. The Solandra don't seem to have done so well as the Bolt Hardy, but I'm not too bothered. There's plenty there, and I'm looking at putting some more in. I've got some peas over there that need to be harvested, and they will be in the next couple of days. When they come out, I'm going to put some more beetroot seed in there, and we'll see how we go. The bed in front of you there, now that did originally have 2 pumpkins in it. When I put them in, I made holes, put compost and such like in, made mounds, plants on top, and when they went in, I watered them, but for about 3 or 4 days after, we had some quite heavy prolonged showers, and they went from standing upright, they just flopped, and to be honest, I think they dampened off and rotted off or whatever. I don't know, might have even been slugs, I don't think so, but I don't really know why that happened. But I've got them out, dug it all over, cleared it, and what I'm going to do with that's going to be a bed for either sprouts or winter cabbage, one or the other, don't know yet. But yeah, so that's all cleaned up, ready. So I'll spin you around and show you what's going on in the bed next door. One last thing before we move up. This bed of onions, these are not covered. In here there are some Elsa Craig, and there's some red spark that I've grown from seed. Never grown red spark before, but they're looking quite nice. Quite pleased with those. Can't really say any more, needs a little bit of weeding, but they're coming along very nicely. Now, before I move on further down the plot, I just thought I'd show you with regards my fruit trees. These apples, really nice. There's quite a few on here, all eating apples. Then pears over here, all really nice. Another few small apples on here, and on this tree as well. Don't know the varieties, but always get a few, and I'm very pleased. It's nice to grow a bit of fruit. But yeah, can't really say a great deal. This is done really well, this particular. I'm just trying to look to see if I've got the label that's originally on it. Mooless. I'll just show you. Can you see that? Mooless family apple, M26. I don't know whether you can make any sense of that, but yes, that's they're doing very nicely. Very pleased with those. So we'll now move on to the rest of the plot. This bed here, I'll do this in stages because it goes back to the path there. Along the end here, peas, Hurst green shaft. These are ready to harvest. Let's just have a look. Oh yeah. See, those there. And of course, best part about harvesting your own peas. Oh, sweet is not the word. Oh, lovely. I won't take any more. They'll never get home. So they are, as I've just said, they're ready. In front of them, parsnips. Now these little pots, they're 3-inch pots with the bottoms cut out. When I prepared the ground, I put the pots in place. I put about 4 or 5 seeds into each pot, working on the theory that if something comes up inside the pot, it must be a parsnip. And as you can see, that's exactly what's happened. And there's a few weeds coming in amongst them as well, which you expect, but I've been taking some of them out, so they're no problem. And then in front of them is some onions. These are Fen Globe. Now they're heat treated onion sets. They went in a bit late, I will admit, so they're not as big as I have grown them in the past, but I'm not too bothered. I'm not concerned that they're not very big. They all get used. The good thing about a smaller sized onion is that when you go to use it, you'll use all of it in one go. So that's quite good. So I'll now move you on to show you what's under the netting. Right, so under here, Calabrese. There's, contradict that, but there's 5 towards the end of here. There's 5 cauliflower in there, but these are all Ironman Calabrese. They went in probably about 3-4 weeks after these. All looking good. I'm very pleased with them. They've not yet started to show any signs of hearting up, which I don't really want. I want them to get a little bit bigger before they start to produce the heads, the crowns, whatever you'd call them. And then of course, because these are that little bit behind, they will then come on up and be a bit of a continuation of the harvest. So I'll now show you everything that's behind me. Okay, these beds here, I'll start that end. That's the bed that the garlic was in. It is now starting to fall apart. These beds are made out of decking boards, but they've been down, it's got to be about 6 years I think, and with what I'm doing with them, it's not the correct way obviously for decking, and they're starting to rot. So a job I know I'm going to have for the winter is replacing some of these boards, as can be seen by that down there. But yes, that had the garlic in. That's been cleaned out, weeded. That is ready for now for either sprouts or winter cabbage. They'll go either bed, not sure. This bed, this was the carrot bed, hence the netting round it, and hence the fact that I was growing shallots round the edge. Had an absolute abysmal results with regards to carrots. First sowing, I think there was 3 rows. I think 3 carrots in total came up. So I then did another sowing probably a month later, 6 weeks so later, and that, I think, again in 3 rows there was only about 2 that came up. It was absolutely appalling. It's got me thinking on something else with regards to the growing of carrots, which I'll let you know in future video. But yeah, so what I've done with this is I've just I've got the shallots around the outside, and I've put a few spring onions in there, and it's a little bit wasted, but now I know where I know it'll be put to good use next year with something else. That's definite. Sweet corn, Swift. Can't really say any more about this. This is really, really nice. I grow Swift. I've grown it for probably about 5 years now. I did grow something else. I forget what the first year I had a go, I used something else, but then I switched to Swift, and these are absolutely superb, really doing well. The netting, by the way, I've got the netting round them because when they first went in and being quite thin, spindly, describe them what you like, plants, young plants, it's give them a little bit of protection against any winds. The netting stays round them. That is to help to deter foxes and badgers. We have badgers on this site, and it deters them later on in the year when there's cobs available. 1 year I didn't have the netting round it, and I was going to start and harvest, and I came back to it about 3 days later to harvest, and they'd been flattened, pushed down. You could see that something had been eating at the cobs, and it was a bit of a mess. Let's put it that way. But you know, that's nature. I don't want to banish wildlife at all, but so I put this netting up, and since then, touch wood, I've not had a problem with foxes, badgers or anything. The harvest has been all mine. So I'm quite pleased about that. Then under this netting here is lettuce. At the moment there is a spare bit of spare part of this bed ready to have some more put in. I've got some at home that I can put in here. I've got a little bit of Tom Thumb, and I've got some Lollo and some Lolla Rosso. In here at the moment there's some Lolla Rosso, and there's a few Webb's Wonderful at the far end. So I'll spin you around and show you the last couple of beds. The sweet peas, these are a variety called Hilda's Mix. I've had these off Andy, and always put on an absolutely fantastic display of flowers. I really can't fault them whatsoever. Love the colours and the smell. I wish you could smell it now, because it's just, you don't need to, you know, the typical sort of, oh yes, it's hitting me now. It really is absolutely superb. I always put a few in here. I've got some at home that I put into tubs at home, but I just can't fault these. I've said it before, but Andy, if you're watching, thank you very much for making the seeds available. You're a gentleman. They really are. They're the best I've ever grown. I've tried growing sweet peas before from seed suppliers, and whether it's me or what, I don't know, but they've never put a show on like this, whereas these are, well, I don't need to explain, you can see for yourself just what a marvellous show these are putting on. And these I've probably had about 5 big bunches or so off these, and there's still plenty more to come, plenty more. So yeah, I'm really pleased with them. Moving along, I've got some cauliflower just under this netting. There are a few plants that a fellow plot holder gave me. I think they're White XL. I think they're White XL, he said. And I've put them under there. They're coming along okay. They I think with White XL they're more of an autumn winter sort of cauliflower, I think, but can't moan with those. And then my contradiction with regards to growing blight proof potatoes, well, this is my contradiction to that, because these are Valor. There's eight seed potatoes here. The reason I come by these was a friend of mine has turned over part of his back garden. He got quite a large lawn, and he's turned quite a large part of it over to growing his own veg. Put raised beds in, and he put some of these in, got some left, asked me if I wanted them, and I thought, why not? I'm up for trying something new, and I'm chuffed to bits with these. I mean, the flowers are coming on. There's a good flower head there, and then there's another one coming through here. Same again on that there. So once these have finished flowering, we'll have one of these up to start with and see what they're like, and maybe leave the rest to see if they get that little bit bigger. But very pleased with them. Never done Valor before, and also I've never grown potatoes on this part of the plot. Where you've seen them down the bottom there, I've generally rotated either side. Where the onions are this year, last year the potatoes were there, and vice versa. I've never done potatoes on here. So looking at this, these are looking really healthy. So maybe it's a case of putting some of these beds to use next year for potatoes. So I'll show you now the last little bed at the back here. And finally, shallots, yellow moon, and let's have a look. Bistro, B-I-Z-T-R-O, Bistro. Yellow moon are from here down. Those are the Bistro. The Bistro are looking a little bit better than the yellow moon, but as you look around, as is the case with shallots, some there's 5 or 6 on, some there's only 3. There's some that are round what was the carrot bed. Some of them have only split into 2, and one of them has just kept on growing like a large onion. But yeah, these are a-okay. Oh, I've just noticed something. Just noticed something. I think these are going to be ready to pick. Flower head. So that is telling me that surely these must be ready to take. I just noticed that there's about 8 on that one, as in it's split to about 8, not 8 flowers. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with these. Again, this is another bed that needs a bit of repair work, and I don't know, but I may, once these are out, work this over and who knows, I may put some sort of winter veg in here. I don't really know, I'm not too sure, but that's it. That's a whiz round the plot, showing you how things are growing, what I've got growing, and giving you one or two ideas of plans that I'm doing. With regards to carrots, the reason I'm not too miffed this year about carrots is at home I've got a veg trug with a nice row of carrots in it, and I've got a barrel, blue water butt type barrel, that's got what looks like some nice carrots coming. I know, you know, tops are so big, I mean the carrot itself could be real diddy thing, we don't know till we get them up, but that's Mother Nature. That's that goes with the territory of growing fruit and veg. Till you start harvesting, you don't know what you're going to get. So that's it for now with regards my plot tour for late June. That's it for this one. Thank you all very much for watching. Couple of things that I need to mention. I don't know why, when I was doing the rhubarb bit and I was kneeling down and explaining, I don't know why it suddenly went all Norman Collier with regards to the microphone. I don't understand that at all. That's the wonders of modern technology, because I didn't change anything after that. I just kept moving the camera around, as you saw, so that I could show you different parts. So why we suddenly had a bit of a Norman Collier moment, I don't know. If you don't know who Norman Collier is, in my description below I'll put a link to Norman Collier on YouTube, and you can see exactly what I'm on about. It's just absolutely, the man's timing is brilliant, absolutely superb. The other little thing that I want to mention is my beans. Don't know why, brain fade, wrong side of 21 I think, whatever, but I forgot to tell you about the beans. And I'm growing 3 types this year. I'm growing 2 French climbing beans, Cobra and Blue Lake. I've grown them for a year or two now, a few years now actually, and always get a good harvest off those. Do like them, really nice. And this year, for the first time in about 5 years, something like that roughly, I'm doing some runner beans, and I'm doing Scarlet Emperor. And the reason I'm doing Scarlet Emperor, and this is where I'm a bit tongue-in-cheek, but it says that they are stringless. Now, yes, I know that the sooner you pick runner beans, the less chance there is of them going stringy. I know that. And no, I'm not going to leave any on the plants for 6 to 8 weeks and to see if they do go stringy. As soon as I see any, I'll be picking them and we'll be having them. Simple as that. So I've straightened that up now. There are a couple of points I wanted to straighten up with you. And as I say, thank you all very much for watching. It really is appreciated. Please like, comment, subscribe. I like reading the comments. And look after yourselves. Look after each other. And I'll see you again the next one. Ta-ra a bit.